ever found yourself looking back at a relationship and thinking, I don't even recognize who I became? Maybe you stopped speaking up, stopped asking for what you needed, or maybe your life slowly became organized around keeping someone else happy, keeping the peace and making sure everyone else was okay. And then one day you looked up and realized somewhere along the way, I lost myself. If that's happened to you, I don't think it's because you're weak or because you lack boundaries or self-awareness or the right tools. I think that over time, you learned that staying connected meant disconnecting from yourself. And once you understand why your mind learned that, so much of what you've been struggling with starts to make sense. I'm Nicole. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and this is one of the most common patterns I help women untangle. It's also something I've lived personally, so I'm not talking about this from a distance. Here's what I want you to understand first. Losing yourself in a relationship doesn't start in adulthood. It usually starts much earlier, in environments where connection felt conditional. Maybe love in your family felt like it depended on being easy, on not needing too much, on being the one who didn't cause problems, ask for things, or make anyone uncomfortable. Maybe you learned that when you expressed a need, the room got tense, someone got hurt, or your feelings were dismissed. So your body did exactly what nervous systems and bodies are designed to do. It adapted. Over time, it learned that if you made yourself smaller, easier, and more accommodating, you stayed connected. And when you're a child, staying connected is survival. This is not weakness, it's intelligence. That's a child doing exactly what she needed to do to remain safe and loved. The hard part is that those patterns don't stay in childhood. They come with us into our friendships, romantic relationships, family, even our workplace. And once you're in those relationships, something happens that makes this pattern incredibly difficult to recognize. It gets reinforced. When you become really good at making everything okay and absorbing everyone else's tension, people respond. They feel relieved. How could they not? They appreciate you. They rely on you. And for a moment, that can feel like finally being seen. And that feels good. But what's actually being seen isn't you. It's how well you've learned to disappear. When you long to be seen and someone values you because of how well you make their life easier, that can feel like love, even when it's reinforcing the very pattern that keeps you invisible. And that's why so many people lose themselves so gradually that they hardly notice it's happening. You stop saying what you actually think. You stop asking for what you actually need. You start organizing your life around someone else's emotional temperature. And because it feels like care, devotion, loyalty, or being a good person to others, it's incredibly hard to recognize it as self-abandonment. Because again, it feels like love, it looks like love. It often even gets praised as love. But real love doesn't ask you to disappear in order to sustain it. So what does finding your way back actually look like? Before you try to fix the pattern and set boundaries, and before you have the difficult conversation, I want you to simply start by noticing it. So the next time someone is disappointed with you or upset with you or pulling away from you, instead of immediately asking yourself, how do I make this better? Try asking a different question. What am I about to abandon in myself? Maybe it's your opinion. Maybe it's your need. Maybe it's your boundary. Maybe it's your exhaustion. Maybe it's your desire. Maybe it's your rage. Just notice it. In acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, we call this diffusion. It's the practice of creating just enough space between you and your automatic pattern that you can actually see what's happening instead of getting swept away by it. Because you cannot choose yourself until you can recognize the moment you're leaving yourself. And that work doesn't happen only in solitude. It also doesn't happen only in therapy. It happens in real relationships, in the moments where these old patterns show up. Those moments aren't proof that you're failing. They're actually where healing begins. If this resonated with you, my next video is all about what it actually looks like to stay with yourself when someone else is disappointed. Because understanding the pattern is one thing, but learning how to respond differently is where your life really begins to change. If this video helped you understand yourself a little bit better, I'd love for you to subscribe. Every week I share practical, evidence-based tools to help women stop abandoning themselves, reconnect with who they are, and build relationships where they don't have to disappear in order to belong.